Hey, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate you clicking on today's video. I just thought I'd make a quick, maybe 5 to 10 minute video going over my settings. I don't know what happened in the process of going from Verdansk over to Caldera here, but the settings, and I'm getting way less frames than I was on Verdansk as compared to Caldera. So I thought I would just go through my graphic settings and some things I have going on, as well as my Nvidia filters to kind of help me see a little bit better. It's nothing too crazy, nothing too complicated, so strap yourselves in, and I'm just going to jump straight into the settings. So for my settings, I know people don't run full screen borderless, but I do have a 3 monitor setup, and I am tabbing out quite often, especially when I'm streaming to, look at Twitter, or if I'm going to look at chat, or if I'm opening up Discord. So I keep it on full screen borderless. It makes my life a little bit easier. You might be able to get a few more frames if you change it to full screen, but I tend to keep mine on borderless. That's just my preference. You can do what you like with that. I didn't really change too much of this on this page. Anything like extra, like VSync, I disabled always. I have my highlights on, so if I need to get any kind of clips or anything like that, I'm able to do so. I do have mine on enabled plus boost, so we're able to, this helps out with frames a little bit. As you see over here, low latency mode is enabled, and it optimizes your system latency a little bit. Actually diving into the most important stuff of the actual settings, I always play on 120 FOV. I never ever go anything less than this. I know people have their preferences. Some people say that, aim assist isn't as proficient at 120 FPS or FOV as it is at some of the other ones. Like, I know a lot of people play at like 110, 115, but I tend to play just 120. And if you are on PC and you're not playing on affected FOV, you are taking a fat L. Okay, this is the biggest thing here. This pretty much makes it to where, like, you see people have like no recoil. Your gun feels way more accurate, and it's just way better to have it on than independent. So this is a big recommendation for me. If you're not already playing unaffected, which I would assume you are, make sure you're playing unaffected. Camera movement I didn't touch at all. This is where it came into where I was playing around with it a lot. These details and textures. I have my streaming quality on just normal. I felt like when it was on low, everything was super like blurry, and the ground looked like Play-Doh, and it looked terrible, man. And it honestly didn't change my FPS too much. I didn't really notice a big jump. Now the big jumps were these two right here, the texture resolution and the texture filter. I kept these on normal. I tried putting them on high, but in game right now, with them on normal, I'm getting anywhere from 90 to 100 FPS. When I have them on high, I'm usually from the 80s to 90s, and so I just kept them on normal. There is a little blur you can see from a further distance. Like, especially if you're trying to look far out through trees, you can't see some sort of a blur. But it's not the end of the world, to be honest. I mean, it's already kind of hard to see things on Caldera, so having this on normal is my recommendation. Particle quality always on low. Bullet impacts and sprays, you can have it on. That's really just preference. I mean, I don't really give two shits about it, to be honest. It ain't really the end of the world if you have them on or off. Tessellation I have on just near. This also works with the blurriness and things of that sort at distances, so I just have mine on close. Dismemberment and gore effects I have disabled. That's just extra shit that you don't even need to see. Now this one right here, this one was huge for me. On-demand texture streaming, I had this off whenever I first got the game, but I turned it on to high quality, and it made my game look tenfold. It changed everything. It made everything look much better for me. So I would definitely recommend this if your GPU and CPU is able to run it. I'll actually show my computer specs at the end of the video, so you'll be able to get an idea of what kind of system I have. But I definitely recommend trying this on-demand texture streaming. Check it out for yourself and see how it works for you. Jumping into the post-processing effects, as you can see, I pretty much have literally every single thing disabled. If you're getting terrible frames, you can put on DLSS for performance and things, but it honestly makes the game super blurry for me. I don't know if that's just me, but if I feel like I turn it on and maybe I get 5 to 10 more frames, but I just can't see anything with it on. Always have anti-aliasing on, depth of field off, and if you run motion blur on any video game ever, you're a maniac. You're a literal maniac. I don't know how people play with motion blur. Shadow and lighting, again, all this is pretty much disabled. I have my shadow map resolution just on normal, just so like when I'm inside, the shadows don't look as crazy. Spot shadows are off, sun shadows are off, particle lighting I have on normal, just for like how it's showing right here, explosions and things and smokes, I'd be able to see through it a little bit better. Never ever ever run ray tracing. You're not on a NASA computer, your shit will blow up. Ambient occlusion I have off, and then this screen space reflection I also have off as well. Those are my graphic settings that I run on here. Jumping into my controller settings, I do play tactical flipped. I've been playing tactical my whole fucking life. Might keep it a whole buck. I do want to hop over and try to switch to play claw for Warzone. I just feel like it's better because there's so much going on, and I only use one paddle. My left stick and right stick dead zone, I do have some sort of stick drift, so I just got used to playing on 0.08, but I used to play on 0.05, 0.06. I play on 7.7 cents. My ADS sensitivity multiplier I keep at 0.85. That's just what feels more comfortable for me. I don't have any custom sensitivities for my zooms and everything. Everything I just keep normal. Always play on dynamic aim response curve type. Much easier to control. Every gun's gonna have the same kind of recoil pattern for the most part. Aim assist keep on standard. This one is a big one if you feel like you're on PC and you're losing aim assist when you're in gunfights. Make sure you have this disabled. You can see the hitboxes right here. This one on the left is the disabled hitbox for aim assist, and this one right here on the right is if you do have it enabled. So make sure you always keep it disabled. My weapon mounting, I have my ADS in melee. I know people had the double tap ADS, but I don't really like that. I have mine on melee. It's much more comfortable for me. Weapon mount movement exit I have enabled. ADS and steady aim and equipment I have all on hold. This is a big one right here. Use/reload behavior I have on contextual tap. That's how I'm able to loot so fast and reload, and it just makes the game overall much smoother. Deplated ammo switch I have on. Armor plates apply all, obviously. Slide behavior tap, you have to have that. Don't have that on. My tac sprint I have on double tap, and then I always run auto tac sprint, so this one's kind of negating itself since I always have it on. Every time I'm moving I'm tac sprinting pretty much. And then the parachute auto deploy off, VO camera recenter off. So hopping into my Nvidia filter settings, it's nothing too crazy. I literally just have just details on. As you can see, if I go have it off, it's a little bit blurry. And once I turn it on, everything's a bit more clear cut. These are my settings for it right here. I have sharpen on 50, clarity on 8, HDR toning on 28. And you can play with them if you want. You can see how it affects it. I like having mine a bit more brighter than typical, just because there's a lot of dark shadows and stuff, especially when it comes to the trees and things surrounding the whole map. Clarity and things like that, you can see like that's a bit too much. I don't like that. That's kind of overkill. I usually keep mine like from 7 to 8. Sharpen, same thing. You can see how it sharpens it and how it gets a little bit blurry, so I usually tend to keep mine around 50. So and that's really, I just keep it. I feel like in Verdansk everyone had to add color and things of that sort, but in this game, or at least on this map, I feel like it's very unnecessary. The map's already colorful as is. It's just kind of hard to see. So go ahead and add the details if you do have an Nvidia graphics card. It definitely helped me out a lot personally, being able to see things around the map. All right, and these are my PC specs that I have right here. I have 16 gigs of RAM. I have a AMD Ryzen 5 5600X. Nothing too crazy. I do have just a standard 3060, nothing crazy, no 3060 Ti, nothing like that. Very simple basic build. I got it maybe 6 months ago. It's been working well for me. I get decent frames on anything I play, so I definitely recommend it. I paid about almost $2,000 for it. I believe around $1,700 for it. So definitely a nice little beginner build, so you can just get an idea. Just mainly the Ryzen 5 5600X, and then my 3060 does most of the work. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, if it helped you out at all when it comes to the graphic settings, controller settings, please drop a like, share it around. It would mean a lot to me. I really appreciate it, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I appreciate it a lot.